Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
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 Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Gopi Janavallabha Girivardhari
Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Yamunatira Vanachari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Go Bhakta Vrinda
Jaya Shri Krishna Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare
Itai Gaura Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Vishnupada Paramahansa Paribhaja Acharya Ashtottara Srimad Abhaya Charan Aravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Shri Prabhupada Ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Premanandi Glory to the Samadhi Devotees all glory to the Samadhi Devotees all glory to the Samadhi Devotees all glory to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga
Hare Krishna. So we'd like to welcome everyone, and also we'd like to welcome especially His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami Maharaj. And so we are requesting everyone to keep their mobile phones either in silent mode or please switch off. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 2nd chapter, text number 19. Sadevaki sarva jagan nivasa Nivasa bhuta nitaram nareje Pojendra gehegni shike varudam Saraswati Jnana Kaleyata Sati Sadevaki Sarva Jagannivasa Nivasa Bhuta Nitaram Nareje Bhojendrage Hegni Shikeva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yatasati Sadevaki Sarva Jagan Nivasa Bhojendrage Hegni Sukhen Vyuda Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Sadevaki Sarvajana Nivasa Nivasa Bhuta Nitaram Nareje Bhojendrage Hegni Shikheva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Tadevaki Sarva Jagan Nivasa Nasarvuta Nitaram Nareje Bhojendrage Hegni Shikeva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Sadevaki Sarva Jagan Nivasa Nivasa Bhuta Nitaram Nageje Bhojendrage Hegni Shikeva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Vaishnavi Sadevaki Sarva Jagan Nivasa Nivasa Bhuta Nitaram Nareje Bhojendrage Hegni Shikeva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Bhojendrage Hegni Shikeva Ruddha Saraswati Jnana Kale Yata Sati Sa Devaki that Devaki Devi Sarvajagat Nivasa of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sustainer of all universes, Matstani Sarvabhutani, Nivasa Bhuta. The womb of Devaki has now become the residence. Nitaram, extensively. Na, not. Reje, became illuminated. Bhojendragehe, within the limits of the house of Kamsa. Agni Shika Iba, like the flames of a fire. Ruddha, covered. Saraswati, knowledge. Jnana Kale, in a person known as Jnana Kala. One who possesses knowledge but cannot distribute it. Yata, or just as. Sati, so being. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of a fire covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Everyone can please repeat. Devaki then kept within herself the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the foundation of the entire cosmos. But because she was under arrest in the house of Kamsa, she was like the flames of a fire, covered by the walls of a pot, or like a person who has knowledge, but cannot distribute it to the world for the benefit of human society. Purport. In this verse, the word Jnana Kala is most significant. Knowledge is meant for distribution. Although there is already much scientific knowledge, whenever scientists or philosophers awaken to a particular type of knowledge, they try to distribute it throughout the world. For otherwise, the knowledge gradually dries up and no one benefits from it. India has the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, but unfortunately, for some reason or another, this sublime knowledge of the science of God was not distributed throughout the world. Although it is meant for all of human society. Therefore, Krishna himself appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and ordered all Indians to take up the cause of distributing the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita throughout the world. Charita katarikaha Krishnu padasham amara agyaya guru hanya tara idesh. Instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. Although India has the sublime knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Indians have not done their proper duty of distributing it. Now, therefore, the Krishna consciousness movement has been set up to distribute this knowledge as it is, without distortion. Although previously there were attempts to distribute the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, these attempts involved distortion and compromise with mundane knowledge. But now the Krishna consciousness movement, without mundane compromises, is distributing Bhagavad Gita as it is, and the people are deriving the benefits of awakening to Krishna consciousness and becoming devotees of Lord Krishna. Therefore, the proper distribution of knowledge has begun, by which not only will the whole world benefit, but India's glory will be magnified in human society. Kamsa tried to arrest Krishna consciousness within his house, Bhojandagehe, with the result that Kamsa, with all his opulences, was later vanquished. Similarly, the real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita was being choked by unscrupulous Indian leaders, with the result that India's culture and knowledge of the Supreme were being lost. Now, however, because Krishna consciousness is spreading, the proper use of Bhagavad Gita is being attempted. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gunamjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Tadati Swapatantikam Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyati Rishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Very interesting in this verse, that Nivasa Bhuta. Devaki is the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, she is the residence of the Lord. So, meaning in her womb. Now, as it says in the previous verse, and the verse before that, Krishna entered into the mind of Vasudeva. And then, from the mind of Vasudeva, Krishna entered into the mind of Devaki and then into her heart. And then he entered into the womb. So Srila Prabhupada, in his purport, he emphasizes that this was not an ordinary conception, but it was spiritual. Even in other traditions, they have what they call immaculate conception, meaning there's no physical activity. Later on, it's stated that when Krishna is born, it says he came from the heart of Devaki and appeared. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says that actually Krishna was simultaneously in the womb and not in the womb. He created his presence in the womb by his own energy, but he was actually in the heart because he lives in the heart of every living entity. So, but we cannot do that. Of course, Krishna is everywhere, so Krishna is in her womb, and he's in every womb and in every atom. But he's personally present. In the Bhagavatam, it says, Pravishtakarna Randrena Bhavam Swanam Bhavam Saroruham. That when we carefully hear Shinbata Shradaya Nitya, when we're always trying to hear about Krishna, and also Grinatas Cha Swastashtitam, and we try to put that, what we're hearing, into practice. Just like many people may hear, but they hear theoretical knowledge. Like in this verse, it says, Jnana Kale. Jnana Kale, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Kale really means cheating. This is cheating. If you don't distribute knowledge, it's cheating. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur in one song, he says that Jada Vidya Yata Mayara Vaibhava. that when we cultivate material knowledge, mayara vaibhava, it's a beautiful manifestation of Maya. Just like there are poets, so many poets and authors and writers, sounds very beautiful. As it says in the 5th chapter of the first canto, but this is just decoration. It's just a decoration. But real knowledge, even if it's even if it's written improperly or there's some defect, still it is beneficial. Just like in the Bhagavatam, it says that Muneya Sadupishto Bhavadbir Lokamangalam. That this, what you're speaking, this is spoken by Shaunaka Rishi to Sutta Goswami. What you're speaking is wonderful because Bhavadbir Lokamangalam. It is beneficial for everyone. Otherwise, if we distribute knowledge, it should be impartial. We distribute to everyone. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he began his Sankirtan movement, he said there's no distinction. We are giving this knowledge is being given to everyone. Of course, Srila Prabhupada qualifies it. He says, he actually gave an example. He said, of course, we do try to give knowledge to people who want to receive it. And Prabhupada gave the example, just like in a war. In a war, the first thing, if a soldier is injured, then the first thing you do is revive the soldiers who are less injured, because they can continue to fight. If you go to the most injured one, you spend all the time trying to, and then the enemy comes and overpowers you. So you want to, so in our Krishna consciousness movement also, although we distribute Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, just like now in the marathon, we distribute to everyone. But if we see someone is a ripe candidate, someone who is ready to receive Krishna consciousness, we cultivate them. We spend more time because they themselves can become valuable distributors of Krishna consciousness. Just like one time Srila Prabhupada said that if someone, if we give knowledge to someone, then we try to make sure that they also continue the parampara by distributing that knowledge. This is how Krishna consciousness can spread very rapidly. Srila Prabhupada was so concerned that the whole world would receive Krishna consciousness. And when Srila Prabhupada began to feel, 1971, Srila Prabhupada had another decline in his health, and he decided, now I have to translate Chaitanya Charitamrita. So before, he stopped his Bhagavatam translation, and he translated Chaitanya Charitamrita, because he felt like this is most essential knowledge, it must get out. And then Srila Prabhupada began a marathon. In 8 months, they published the whole Chaitanya Charitamrita. But as I saw one quote from His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami, we're in a marathon now. We may have one 2 or 3, 4 times a year, but Maya is in marathon every day. And she's very expert. She never gives up. She's always there, 24 hours. Even when you're sleeping, Maya wants you to dream about material existence. And therefore we have to hear very carefully. So, some aspects of this verse, Devaki Sarva Jagan Nivasa. So, Sarva Jagan Nivasa. This means Sarva, everything. Everything. And Jagan means moving. Jagannivasa means the material world, that place where everything is moving, everything is changing, everything is temporary. But Sarva means all the living entities who are eternal. So this first line means within Devaki we find everything material and spiritual. Krishna, aham sarvasya prabhavam mata sarvam pravartate. That Krishna says, I am the source of everything material and spiritual. Because Krishna was in her womb, in her heart and in her womb. He had manifested. When we hear Krishna consciousness carefully, then Krishna enters into the ears and Swanam Bhavam Sororuham. He opens up the heart. Otherwise, as Srila Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita 12th, one beautiful purport in the 12th chapter of Madhya Lila, describing the cleansing of Gundicha. Srila Prabhupada taking the purport of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and expanding it. He says, this process of cleansing Gundicha really means what we should be doing to our heart. No. We cleanse the heart so it is a suitable place where Krishna can sit. Otherwise, Paramatma will sit there. And he's sitting there in the dog, in the hog, in the cockroach, and he's there. But when we hear, he enters through the ears. In the Bhagavatam 3rd canto, it says, therefore one should learn to see through the ears. Or as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pashyante jnana chakshushaha. That one should see with the eyes of knowledge. We have 3 types of eyes. These eyes, which are not very accurate. We see the sun as a little disc. We see the moon as a little disc. As Prabhupada said, we cannot see what's happening on the other side of that wall. But pashyante jnana chakshusha. But with the eyes of knowledge, you can see so much farther, so much more perfectly. And premanjana tudita bhakti vilochanena. But the best eyes are the eyes of the heart. When the heart is purified and we see through the heart, we see everything through pure Krishna consciousness, then this is the best eye. This is the most perfect eye. So she became the residence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But because she was Bojendra Gehe, she was in the... Gehe usually means house, but Kamsa accommodated her in the prison. When someone invites you, just like when I was trying to open a temple in Panama, one Indian man said, yes, you can come and stay with me. I was distributing books. I had no place to stay, nor I had no money. So I had to make enough money to maybe I'd have to stay in a hotel. But one Indian man saw me. He said, you can stay in my house. Oh, okay. So I got to the house, and he took me around the back, and underneath the house, it was just dirt, with dirt, and at least I had a little roof. And he said, you can stay here. And I said, I see that you're wearing saffron. You should be renounced. So, okay, thank you very much. So I dug out a little hole under the house, and that's where I stayed. So I felt like this verse, that he invited me to his house, but I stayed in the prison. So, but Devaki, even she was in the prison, but as it says here, Nitaram nare che, she was effulgent because the Supreme Personality of Godhead was manifesting within her. When he first manifested, she spoke just like also Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. When the same process, that Lord Chaitanya entered into the mind of Jagannath Mishra and then into the heart of Sachi Devi. And they both began to think, what's happening? Why do we feel like this? Why do we, And the same thing happened here. Even at the end of the previous purport, Srila Prabhupada says something very interesting. A comment by Viradhagavacharya that Vasudeva Devaki Chattarayor Hridayor Bhagavata Sambandha. The Supreme Lord's entrance into the room of Devaki from the heart of Vasudeva was a heart-to-heart relationship. So, the deeper meaning of that is that when a husband and wife are actually Krishna conscious, they have a real relationship. They have an eternal relationship based on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not some mundane relationship that we're married, we're together, we so-called love each other, and then we combine, we have children, they grow up, and they do the same thing, and they have some more, and it's just a cycle, samsara. Our duty as husband and wife is not to promote samsara, but to have this heart-to-heart relationship. And what is that heart-to-heart relationship? That the husband is the servant of the wife and the wife is the servant of the husband. That is a heart-to-heart relationship. Not that it's a competition to see who will control the other one. By psychological, physical, emotional control. Each man and woman each have certain abilities to control one another. But that's not a proper relationship. So here we see the proper relationship, and it empowers us. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahi Tara Pravartana. Without being empowered by Krishna, we cannot perform Krishna consciousness. We cannot be Krishna conscious. So Srila Prabhupada emphasizes, there are two examples here. Agni Shika Iba, Ruda, that just like a pot. Of course, nowadays we have open flames, but the old style of cooking, where they would make a stove out of mud, and you would put the wood underneath, and the pot sat right on top of it. You couldn't see the flame. You could not see it. So that's the one example. Now modern stoves, you see everything. But the main thing that Srila Prabhupada emphasizes here is jnana kala. That knowledge that is contained, knowledge that is not distributed. This is, Srila Prabhupada said, this is kripana. Someone who has knowledge and doesn't distribute it. Sri Prasad Maharaj, he speaks about this in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev. He says that there are persons that they are knowledgeable, very knowledgeable, and but they are vimukti kama, swa vimukti kama. They are very interested in their own benefit, in their own liberation. The great majority of saintly persons, they're thinking about themselves, and therefore they are not paranishta. They don't distribute this very important Krishna, which Srila Prabhupada is speaking about here in the purport. They don't distribute Krishna consciousness. They don't give Krishna consciousness. They're very strict, very knowledgeable. So Prahlad Maharaj, he says that Naitan Vihaya Kripana Vimamuksho Eko. That I cannot be like this. I cannot be like these persons. Because even though I see that the general populace, not you, but the general populace out there, they are kripana. They are miserable, miserly people. Kripana, in this sense, means everything is for me. This is material consciousness. Everything is for me. This world is for me. Just like when I was growing up, the people would say, you have to take care of number one. And number one is Krishna. But for them, number one is myself. Take care of number one. Otherwise, let your ahankar, your false ego, dominate your existence. So, Prahlad Maharaj says, even though they're kripanas, I cannot look for my own satisfaction, for my own benefit, because nanyantarasya sharanam nupashe, because I don't see any other shelter for them other than your mercy. Therefore, I must distribute your mercy to everyone. And this is the essence of what Srila Prabhupada is speaking about in this purport. Otherwise, Srila Prabhupada is saying knowledge. Knowledge is meant for others, because knowledge comes from Krishna. Vasudeve Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janyat Yasyu Vairagyam Jnanam Chaya Dahaitukam. That this spiritual knowledge is causeless. Otherwise, it doesn't come from studying some book. No. As it says in Svatashvatara Upanishad, that Namedeya Nabahuna Shutena. It doesn't, this relationship, this understanding of the Supreme doesn't come from your intelligence, nor does it come from studying many books, unless they're Prabhupada's books. Then it comes from there, because it's coming from Srila Prabhupada, as we sing every day, Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashito. That this Divya Gyan is manifested in the heart by the mercy of the spiritual master. So this is where it comes from. So the Bhagavatam explains this in a very wonderful, detailed way in the first canto, second chapter. That Yat Krita Krishna Samprashno. This is most wonderful. That when we ask questions about Krishna, then this is the most wonderful thing. Ayatma supasidati. It is the ultimate benefit for the intelligence and the very existence of the living entity. So, and then he says, Savaipumsa paro dharmo, that this is the manifestation of the perfection of spirituality. But if you don't use it properly, if you don't understand that the purpose, that real religion means to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, adoksaja, which means that it's not easy. Adoksaja means that person who is not perceived by some material, external, mechanical process. He is perceived by revelation. And revelation requires something that is very difficult for most of us, which is called humility. For knowledge to be revealed, as it says in the 18th chapter of the first canto, there have to be two things. Bhagavata Pradhana, someone who is very expert in understanding and worshiping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Shushushaya, and someone who is very interested in hearing. So if you're interested in hearing, it means you have to have the humility. Sometimes we see someone's giving the class, we think, he's not very advanced, or he or she is not very advanced, so I'm not going to hear from them. Well, where is the humility? When both Arjuna and also the sages of Naimisharanya, they say, Swadu Swadu Pade Pade. I can hear this again and again and again and again, because it's nectar. It's nectar. And this nectar of Krishna consciousness. So, this cultivation of knowledge, Yat Shradhana Munayo, Jnana Vairagya Yuktaya, we should be equipped with this transcendental knowledge, equipped Pashanyatmani Chatmanam. With that knowledge, we can see who we are, and Paramatma, we can see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, Bhaktya Shuddha Grihitaya. Then we will understand the essence, we will be able to capture and understand the essence of Shruti, of transcendental literature, and convert it into bhakti. It will become bhakti. It will become manifest itself as bhakti. Not that we will store it in our head. No, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Jivake karano gadha. You become like a mental ass. Just like an ass is carrying around a big load. No. So if we just store knowledge in our head, we're like a mental ass. Just carrying around this knowledge, but what am I doing with it? Because if you just keep it for yourself, then again you become a kripana. No. You become a person who just wants to show others. If I demonstrate the knowledge, it will be so that other people will see how knowledgeable I am. Not that I will be giving it to others, but I will let them see how knowledgeable I am. So therefore Srila Prabhupada says, for this knowledge to be transmitted, we have to understand the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Charita Katari Kaha Krishna Padesh Amara Agyaya Guru Hanyatara Edesh. That anywhere you go, if you really want to distribute knowledge, then anywhere you go, everyone you meet, Krishna Upadesh means, Srila Prabhupada says, this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. He says it right here in his purport. That instruct everyone to follow the orders of Lord Sri Krishna as they are given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Not as per my understanding. No, but as they are given. Otherwise, you can't distribute the knowledge until you yourself take this knowledge from Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. No, you can't give something you don't have. So, Srila Prabhupada very clearly teaches us, if you want to distribute Krishna consciousness, and then he goes on to say, all of you, I guess I'm excluded, but all of you born in India, you have this duty, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Bharata Bhumni Hoila Manusha Janmajar. That if you're born in India, you have this duty. Srila Prabhupada, when he was in London, he was speaking to a British audience. And he said, so the British, they came to India and they stole all the jewels. But they forgot the greatest jewel. The jewel, Divya Ratna, the jewel of transcendental knowledge. Therefore, I am bringing it to you, he said. Otherwise, you stole the wrong jewels. No? And they actually stole jewels from the deities, very offensive. And so you didn't see the real jewel, now I'm giving you that jewel. And Srila Prabhupada gave it to the whole world. He gave it, he said, I have given the foundation. Now you build this. You build this. Otherwise you go out, you take what I've given and you distribute it to everyone. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, I have delivered the whole universe. But because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is beyond time and space, he delivered the whole universe, but now he's doing it through his devotees. He's giving us the opportunity to be the instrument of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This marathon is an opportunity to enter into the parampara, become a distributor of Krishna consciousness, to become a worthy and loyal servant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his devotees. If we don't do this, we are giving up the opportunity. If we don't, to whatever degree is possible. Some devotees are very valiantly going out every day, in this not so pleasant weather of winter time. Of course, some of them may be going south, and maybe they get a little break. When I remember in the Caribbean, there's one island that belongs to the U.S. So all the devotees from New York would go to that island. There would be like 20 Sankirtan. It's not a big Puerto Rico, not a very big island, like only 4 million people, and there would be like 25, 30 Sankirtan devotees. They all wanted to go where it was warm. So they went to the island. And then people, but then they stopped. They actually realized, we're going to have to do the yagya in New York, because after 2 years, everybody said, I got that book last year, because there's not that many people. So anyway, so the devotees are going out, but it doesn't matter if it's warm or hot or cold or whatever. No, it's the important thing is that the people, their hearts are very cold, and we have to make the fire of Krishna consciousness enter into their hearts, as it says here. Niyatam na reje. That this illumination of Krishna consciousness, we are aiming it at the hearts of the fallen conditioned souls. And this is what Srila Prabhupada, this is how Srila Prabhupada sees this purport. This is how someone, and he says something very interesting. He says that unscrupulous Indian leaders, meaning Mayavadis, and they have kept this back. They have not done their duty. So Srila Prabhupada is in one sense, directing this purport to the devotees who now, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by the mercy of devotees like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and so many other wonderful devotees that taken very seriously Srila Prabhupada's movement and spread it all over India. Now ISKCON has a wonderful reputation, but we have to be very careful to preserve that reputation by purifying our hearts and living the Shikshastika. If we think that Krishna consciousness is some external thing, that I have joined some external movement, that I just do some mudras and some mantras, but I don't allow it to penetrate into my heart through hearing and chanting. Then Krishna consciousness and this wonderful reputation that the devotees have worked so hard to establish will become tarnished by the ambition and the false ego of persons who are not taking the time every day to chant very carefully Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day, even if you live in your home. Srila Prabhupada, in his purport to this verse that he quotes, Jaritaka Tarikaha, he says, there is no need to renounce. Everyone can live comfortably in their home and chant Hare Krishna and hear about Krishna. So someone may think, if they start to read that purport, then I just stay home, chant Hare Krishna. That's what Prabhupada said, follow the four regulated. But then at the end, he says, chant Hare Krishna, and just like Kurma Brahman, as Lord Chaitanya instructed him, distribute it to everyone. So I thought I was getting off easy. Live in my home, be comfortable. Yes, live in your home comfortably, but go out and distribute it to everyone else. So there Srila Prabhupada qualifies everyone as a Sankirtan devotee. Every devotee in this movement is meant to give Krishna consciousness to others. However you want to do it. Or you can distribute prasadam, or you can distribute the holy name in Harinam Sankirtan. But Srila Prabhupada said one time, he said, Harinam Sankirtan is very good, but book distribution is better. Because someone hears the holy name and they think, oh, it's nice, yes, some devotees are chanting. But when they get a book, even Prabhupada said, even if they never read the book, the potency of this Bhagavatam, especially if they get Bhagavatam, the potency will enter into their hearts, and it will purify them. I was telling devotees the other day, my brother-in-law, he was very agnostic, meaning maybe God exists, maybe He doesn't, but I don't have any time. And he would always treat me like, he would always make fun of me being a devotee. I mean, I'm aspiring to be one, but he thought I was one. So, but then one day, all of a sudden, he was treating me very nicely. I thought, what happened? So I looked there. I just looked. Krishna directed me. I looked up on his bookshelf. He had Bhagavad Gita. So I said, "Oh, you're reading Bhagavad Gita?" No. He had never read, he never even opened it. But just the presence of the Bhagavad Gita changed his consciousness, changed his heart. What to speak of is if you read it, then it becomes so much more potent. So this is our mission. Srila Prabhupada has given this to us, given us this responsibility to everyone, and especially those born in India. You can't escape. Others may think they can escape, but you can't escape. No, you can't escape. Because Srila Prabhupada says, I always mention this, in the purport to Adi Leela 941, he says, India is the only place where actual human civilization can be established. No. So this is a big responsibility that we all have in this yatra. Just like you have the advantage of having a more advanced culture, but along with that, you have a greater responsibility. No. Just like one devotee, and I'll stop with this. One devotee asked Srila Prabhupada, why is it, Srila Prabhupada, that in India, there's so many difficulties, and he said, in America, people are wealthy and prosperous, and India, this was back in the 1970s, India was very poor at that time. Now it's different. But it's not different for everybody, it's different for some people. And so, Prabhupada said, that is because in India they know. Otherwise they have knowledge, and they're not acting on that knowledge. He said, in America they are ignorant. They are simply reaping the results of their material activity. So this, along with this special culture, which is not as it was before, but still the culture is there. To some degree, comes a grave responsibility. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna himself and Srila Prabhupada are requesting us and ordering us, actually, to take this Krishna consciousness to everyone. So these are some thoughts on this particular verse. Stop here. Are there any comments or questions? Okay. Just getting out my secondary ears so I can hear. This is all due to loud kirtans. Some people can resist, others can't. Yes.
What is a guru?
What is a guru?
Yes.
You haven't figured that out yet?
What does a guru basically what is the duty of a guru?
The duty of the guru is to teach, to instruct, and also acharya means one who gives the example. Now sometimes we think acharya means like a super guru, but it actually technically means that one who gives the example, acharya, who gives the example. The example in their actions, their words, and their thoughts should all be directed to Krishna. And therefore, he instructs mostly with his example. In the beginning of the movement, even before there was a movement, Srila Prabhupada could not instruct anyone because they were not instructable. They were destructible, not instructable. So Prabhupada just did kirtan and cooked and distributed prasadam. That's basically what he would speak for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Even that they couldn't understand, but at least he had to give some message. Then he began to give more, and then one day Srila Prabhupada said, now I must tell you, I am the guru, you are the disciple. I tell you what to do and you do it. Prabhupada, he tolerated for many months, and everybody was just coming, enjoying. They would say, in the morning, let's go to Swami and get a hot meal. Go with Swami and get a hot meal. So, but then, by that humility that Srila Prabhupada exhibited, the devotees became so dedicated. And then when they heard about all that Srila Prabhupada did just to get there, all the hardships, they become more and more dedicated. So this is the duty of the spiritual master, to sacrifice everything for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. Samsiddhir harito shanam. That our duty is to seek the pleasure of Krishna, not to seek our own pleasure. Any other question?
Maharaj, how can one develop humility? How can one develop humility?
Sorry, could you?
How can one develop humility?
By listening very carefully. And then just as I mentioned, one thing is Shinvatam Shradeya Nityam, you listen carefully, Grinatas Cha Svatashtitam, and then you put it into practice. Krishna says the same thing in Bhagavad Gita, that Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, you should be absorbed in chanting and hearing, and Yatantas Cha Dridha Vrataha, and then you with great determination, you put it into practice. That's the process. Shravanam Kirtanam. Kirtanam in that sense means practicing Krishna consciousness. Both chanting and the effect of chanting, which is service. Otherwise, if I'm chanting and not doing any service, then what is the effect of my chanting? Of course, chanting in itself is service, if you do it properly. If you chant mechanically, that's not a very big service. Krishna is coming in the form of the holy name and sitting right next to you, sitting within your heart and revealing himself, and I'm thinking about something else. But that takes some practice. The Prabhupada said in the beginning, do it mechanically, but he said in the beginning, not in the end. In the beginning, you do it carefully. So one more question. And
Hare Krishna, Pram. Thank you, Maharaj, for the wonderful lecture. Maharaj, as you said that the best eyes is the eyes of mind. So is there any process to get it? Or how can we get the eyes of mind?
Well, first of all, Krishna consciousness is the process until we become Krishna conscious. Then it's not a process. It is an intimate relationship with Krishna. Once we accept the holy name as as the most merciful incarnation of Krishna, that I must obey, I must serve, and I must distribute, then it ceases to be a process, and it becomes the most wonderful intimate relationship with Krishna. And I'm just responding to Krishna's desire. So it's no longer a process. As long as it's a process, it will be somewhat mechanical. That I must do this, I must do this. There are three phases of Krishna consciousness. The first one is that out of fear, we're afraid of material existence, we're afraid of suffering, and we serve Krishna. But the second phase is out of duty. I must do it. Krishna is telling me I must do it. And the third and most important phase is we love Krishna so much that we will do anything, just like the gopis of Vrindavan. They love Krishna so much they're willing to do anything and everything for Krishna. Just like the 8th verse of Ashishava Paramatam Nastumam. Krishna, you can embrace me or you can trample on me. Whatever you do, you remain the same. Otherwise, we don't feel enlivened by certain aspects of Krishna consciousness, and then we give up other aspects of Krishna consciousness. So thank you all very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.
Hare Krishna. So I would like to thank Maharaj for his wonderful association. Hare Krishna. Thank you.